So now we are supposed to make our final game. So for making our final game, we will actually use a new file, and that new file is this. So the game is already made, so I will just delete it, delete everything, and then start from scratch. So I will again reduce it to 2 and save it. Okay, and now what I will do is try to write the program, but before writing the game program I wanted to think you like how the game works, right? We have already seen how the game works. So okay, let me just give you a recap of how the game works. So if I go and start the game, so we have to guess a number. So let's start guess 33, and then we can guess 23, and then we can guess 13, then we can guess 11, 7, 3, 1. And so we can see that the number was 1 and we have guessed it. So this was the game. So we can see the logic, how the logic the game should be from this output log. So let us try to write the game again. So I will just what I will do is just clear everything up. And so what is the first step is to ask the user for guess, right? And then let the computer guess a number. So our first step will be let the computer guess a hidden number from 1 to 100. Okay, then what is the next step? The next step will be that we want user to give us a number. We want user to give us a number between 1 to 100. What we want then? We want to check if number is bigger or smaller, and then notify user. What will be your fourth step? Notify user if the number was bigger or smaller, we will ask the user to again input a new guess. Okay, and finally, if the user guesses the number, we will congratulate him. So congratulate him. Okay, so these are our steps. So mainly there are 1 2 3 4 5 steps. So I let me reduce this a little bit. If the number was bigger or smaller, we will user will re-guess smaller. User will attempt again. Okay, this looks better. So our first step is that we will let the computer to guess a hidden random number from 1 to 100. Then we want the user to give us a number between 1 to 100, and we want to check if the number is bigger or smaller, and according to that we want to notify user. If the number was bigger or smaller, user will attempt again. So we will ask the user to enter a new number because his guess was wrong. But if the guess was correct, we will congratulate him that we are doing right here. So we can see that we are asking the user for the guessing a magic number between 1 to 100, and every time the user is guessing, if the guess is wrong, just a minute, if the guess is wrong, what will we do is like give him a hint that if the number is bigger or if the number is smaller, and according to that hint he can actually change his guess and reattempt to guess the number that computer has guessed for him. So there's the reason actually So that's the reason actually why I was showing you these logs, because it will help you to structure the steps. And once you know the steps, you will try to put these steps into code, right? So we have learned a lot of things inside our main.py in our lecture 1. So for making this project, what we'll have to do is start through and write code for the first line, which is let the computer guess a hidden number. So for making a random guess from 1 to 100, what we have to do is, like, we can generate it randomly, or we can also generate it according to our wish, like in hard-coded value. So at first we will define a variable called computer guess, and then we can say, let's say the number is 39, and the user doesn't know that the number is 39 behind the scenes, right? Because the user won't see our code, they will just see the game. So user doesn't know that the number is 39. And then we have completed our first step. Let computer guess a hidden number between 1 to 100. And then what we'll want is, like, we want to give us the number between user the number between 1 to 100. So we have learned about the input function in the previous lecture. So what we will do is we will introduce a new variable called user guess, and then what we will do is use the input function, and then I will ask to guess, please guess for me. And what will the guess be? Maybe from 1 to 100, and that's it. So after we prompt the user like that, what we know is that the user will enter a number from 1 to 100. But the thing is, like, this thing is string type, right? I have already told you that if anything is entered from the console, it will always be in string type, and we need to convert to the data type that we want. So we want here now integer data type, right, to compare with the computer guess. And for that we use the int function. So now what will happen is that this input will be a string, and then we'll be converting it to an integer. So after user enters, it may be something like this, and after that it will become something like this. So let us comment it out so that it doesn't bother us. Okay, and then what we have to do is go for our third step. What is our third step? Check if the number is bigger or smaller, and then notify the user again. Okay, so we have to check if, okay, the number is bigger or smaller. So user guess is bigger than computer guess. Then what we have to say? We have to say that user make it shorter, right? So here what I will say is make it shorter. So we can give something like this chicken, and after that we can come on the elif block or else if block, whatever you say, and we can come on the else block, right? And then what we want to say is user, okay, and then guess if it is smaller than the computer guess, okay. So we don't need to actually write this statement, because on inside else we already know that if it's not big then it's smaller. So we will write like this, and we will just say make it bigger, okay. And then we can say something like an elephant, okay. My bad, it will be something like this in the quotation mark. So after we are done with these two things, what we have to do is, if the number was bigger or smaller, user will reattempt again. So if the number, as long as the number is not equal to the number of computer guess, we want user to do what? To keep guessing, right? So we already have learned about the while loop. While loops keep running until a condition is met. So while loop is the perfect use case for this, because we know that the while loop will be keeping running again and again until a specific condition is met. So what we will do is, I am cutting all this thing, okay, with Control X, and then what I will do is use a while loop. And once I use a while loop, I will say computer guess not equal to user guess, and then I will paste inside here. So what I'm saying that while my computer guess is not equal to the user guess, I want to check if the user guess is greater. If it is, I will say make it shorter. If it is not, I will say make it bigger. And after saying that, we will want it to give the user to do the input again, right? So what we will do is again take this line, copy it and paste it here. So what I am telling on this level is, okay, we have a computer guess which is 39 and we asked the user to guess a number, okay? After the user guesses a number, we wanted to convert it to integer because it is in string, so we use the int function, and then we give from 30 we make it 30. After that we are asking that while computer guess is not equal to user guess, if user guess is greater than computer guess, print it, make it shorter, and otherwise make it bigger. And then we have to update the user guess and say give the user opportunity to enter the number again, right? And then it will continue until the number is not equal to computer guess, is not equal to user guess, and finally we will print our congratulation message that congrats, you won, or we can write you got it, okay, and then give a party emoji. So now if you run this program, so we have implemented all these steps, so let us run. So it is saying me guess from 1 to 100, so I will guess, let's say 40. So it is saying me make me shorter because my number is 39, right? So the program is saying can you make it shorter because your guess is little bit big. So now if I write 25, it is saying make it bigger because 25 is smaller than 39 and my program is saying please make it bigger. And now if I make it 39, which is the actual number, which is the computer guess, you can see here, and if I run, you can see congrats, you got it. So this was the actual game. So let's do as a dry run again, and then we will end this lecture and this small project, okay? So our first step was let the computer guess a hidden number from 1 to 100. So we say that okay, the program computer guess will be 39, and then I will say that we want the user to give us a number between 1 to 100. So we are using a variable called user guess, and then we are asking the user that please give us an input, and whatever the input user will give us, we wanted to convert it to an integer type because this input is a string. So in that case we will see that we have to wrap it around the int function. So what is happening is like input is actually giving us the string value, and then when you wrap this string value with this int function, it takes this string value and return us a number value which is actually being stored in the user guess. So once we have user guess, we are saying that until the computer guess does not become equal to the user guess, I wanted to keep trying again and again, again and again, right? So that's why we are using while loop. So like while this condition is not met, okay, I wanted to do it again and again. So while the computer guess is not equal to the user guess, I wanted to run these 4 lines of code, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, sorry, 5 lines of code again and again. So you can see that the first level here, that means all these lines are inside the while loop, right? All this code you can see here, this first level are inside the while loop, and inside the while loop what we are checking we are checking that if the user guess is not equal to like the computer guess, then is it greater? If it is, instruct the user to make it shorter. But if it is not, then instruct the user to make it bigger. That's the logic, right? And once we instructed the user what to do, we want the user to give the opportunity to make the input again so that we can actually compare the new user guess, because now the user guess was first at 40, and then we have already said that make it shorter, and now we wanted to give it a chance again. We want to update the user guess variable with the new user input, right? So now we are again saying please guess 1 to 100 that we are getting here, and then when we actually guess a new number, it comes back and again checks if the things is all right and keep going on and doing this thing again and again. And finally when we actually give 39, then it sees that okay, we have 39 here, so user guess become 39, computer guess was 39, and they are equal to, so this while loop becomes false. And when this condition actually evaluates to false, the while loop is finished, we are gone out from the while loop, and then what we do is print a congratulations message because we have successfully guessed the number. So this was actually the dry run of the code, and again the more you will code, the more you will understand. These are a little bit hard in the beginning, but as long as you practice, it will become more easier. And another thing is like you may wanted to put a random number here instead of 39. So what you can do is there is a function in Python called random int. So I'm importing here. So what importing means is I'm telling you a little bit after. And random dot randint 1 to 101. Okay, so now if we run, so even we don't know what's the number guessed by the computer right now, so we have to guess it. 34, so make it shorter. 23, shorter. 13, shorter. 3, bigger. 7, shorter. 5, 6. Congrats, so the number guessed by the computer was 6 this time. So let me now tell you what is this random thing is. So in Python there is a standard library and we can use many functions from the standard library. I know you don't know what's the functions yet, so you can think like someone has wrote a file, like another file, random file for us, and we are actually saying that I wanted to use some code from the another file, and then rand int is a function, and I'm just saying that it has two parameters, start and end, and I'm just saying that I want to generate a random number starting from 1 and ending at 100. We have put here 101 because like the range function, the 101, that extra 1 is the upper bound, so it will be up to 100 excluding 101. So we wanted to guess a random number from 1 to 101, and that's the reason actually you actually have the computer guess, which is a random number from 1 to 100, and you are calling the random function from the random class, you can say actually. So yeah, so if you don't understand this thing, that random.random thing, you don't need to bother too much about it. Just know that this thing, this small line will actually help you to generate random numbers from 1 to 100. That's it. And the rest of the code is we have already covered in class and also have gone through the dry run. So I hope you really now understood how this simple program works.